뛰었다. 이럴 경우에는 붓고 열감이 있는 것을 방지하기 위해서 48시간은 아이스백으로 아주 콜드 치료를 해주는 게 제일 좋습니다. 자, 근데 이건 눈에 보이니까 급성염증은 대부분 약을 먹거나 치료하거나 병원에 갑니다. 문제는 만성염증입니다. 만성염증은 눈에 잘 안 보여서 사람들이 병원에 잘 안 갑니다. 그러다 보니까 나중에 이게 쌓이면 그때 가서 질병을 만들어내고 질병이 유발되는 게 이게 만성염증입니다. 만성염증은 여기 그래프에 있는 것처럼 나빠졌다가 약간 좋아졌다가 또 나빠졌다가 약간 좋아졌다가 하면서 점점점 강도가 올라가게 됩니다. 그래서 점점점 강도가 올라가게 되면 이 만성염증이 우리 몸에 다 퍼져서 그래서 우리 몸에서 다발성 장기에 영향을 주게 됩니다. 급성염증은 이렇게 3, 4주가 지나면 대개 낫게 되지만 만성은 그렇지 않습니다. 만성염증은요, 어디든지 가면 문제를 일으킵니다. 뇌에 가면 뇌에 문제를 일으킵니다. 치매도 일으키고 뇌졸중도 일으킵니다. 심장에 가면 심장에 문제를 일으킵니다. 혈관에 가면 혈관이 막히기도 하고요. 췌장에 가면 당뇨병이 생기기도 하고 콩팥에 가면 이 콩팥에 염증이 생기기도 합니다. 신경에 가면 말초신경이 문제가 돼서 감각도 떨어지고 기능도 잘 못하는 일들이 벌어지게 됩니다. 만약에 관절에 가면 관절염이 생깁니다. 그래서 우리가 보통 말하는 관절염은 대개 만성염증이 누적돼서 나중에 증상이 생기는 겁니다. 이렇게 만성염증은 장기화됩니다. 우리 조직은 원래 이렇게 탄성이 있거든요. 근데 염증이 생기면 탄성이 없어집니다. 섬유화라 그래서 아주 단단한 실처럼 이런 실타래들이 모인 것처럼 탄성이 1도 없는 아주 단단한 조직이 됩니다. 만성염증이 되면 여기 있는 이 포인터처럼 단단한 물질이 돼서 우리 몸에 이렇게 붙어 있다고 생각하시면 됩니다. 그러면 우리 몸에 이렇게 단단한 게 붙어 있어서 섬유화가 되잖아요. 그럼 이게 나중에 암으로 발생할 가능성이 상당히 높습니다. 이렇게 우리가 만성염증이 생기는 원인들이 여러 가지가 있는데요. 가장 흔한 거는 나쁜 생활 습관입니다. 과식하시면 안 됩니다. 그 다음에 우리가 혈당을 너무 올리는 이런 탄수화물을 너무 많이 드셔도 안 되고요. 인스턴트 식품, 그 다음에 튀김, 잠도 잘 안 자고 스트레스를 많이 받는 환경, 이런 게 있으면은 안 좋은 생활 습관이 있게 되면 만성염증이 증가하게 됩니다. 만성염증 중에서 가장 대표적인 질환으로 우리에게 다가오는 게 사실은 당뇨병입니다. 당뇨병은 우리가 해결할 수 없는 당이 우리 몸에 너무 많아지는 거거든요. 그러면 이 혈당을 해결해야 되기 때문에 이것도 일종의 면역체계 같은 우리 몸의 시스템이 작동을 합니다. 해결하기 위해서. 해결이 안 되잖아요. 그러면 이게 염증으로 전환을 합니다. 그래서 혈당이 어디든지 가면 우리를 망가뜨립니다. 심장으로 가면 심장병이 생기고, 혈관으로 가면 혈관염이 생기고, 신경으로 가면 신경염이 생기고, 눈으로 가면 눈이 잘 안 보이게 되게 됩니다. 자, 그래서 이렇게 만성염증은 우리 안에서 없을 수가 없습니다. 우리는 면역체계가 나쁜 게 있으면 몸 안에 어떻게든지 없애려고 하거든요. 면역체계가 동원됩니다. 동원되는데 이게 안 없어지면 더 많은 면역체계가 동원돼야 되고, 안 없어지면 더더더 많은 면역체계가 동원이 되면 만성염증이라는 게 이게 시작되게 됩니다. 만성염증이 있으면 우리 유전자가 변형이라는 게 생깁니다. 원래는 우리가 사람마다 다양한 암이 발생할 유전자를 갖고 태어납니다. 근데 어떤 사람은 걸리고 어떤 사람은 안 걸립니다. 그걸 우리가 후생 유전자라고 하는데, 그냥 간단하게 이게 암에 걸리는 유전자라고 하면 이렇게 모자를 쓰고 있다고 생각하면 됩니다. 이 모자가 벗겨지면 암으로 갑니다. 이거는 안 벗겨지면 평생 살아도 잘 삽니다. 엄마가 간암이 있는데 나도 간암에 걸렸다. 그러면 간암의 유전자가 있는 거고, 이게 살면서 이렇게 벗겨져서 간암의 유전자가 발현됐다고 생각하시면 됩니다. 근데 요 모자 같은 거를 이렇게 벗기는 가장 큰 요소가 만성염증입니다. 만성염증이 있으면 우리가 갖고 태어난 여러 가지 질병의 유전자들이 변형되기 시작합니다. 왜냐하면 염증이 있으면 이걸 해결하기 위해서 활성산소라는 게 발생하게 되는데 이게 유전자의 변형을 일으킵니다. 그 쓰여진 모자를 벗깁니다. 벗기면 사이토카인이라는 것들이 활성화돼서 그래서 유전자 변형이 있고 그러면 암으로 이렇게 가기도 합니다. 여러분들이 한번 체크해 보시면 좋을 것 같습니다. 내가 혹시 여기에 4가지 이상이 된다. 그럼 나는 만성염증이 있구나. 이렇게 생각하시면 되고요. 잘은 모르지만 우리 사업을 하시는 분들의 최소한 절반 이상은 체크리스트가 4점 이상이 나올 겁니다. 그런데 이 장기화된 만성염증에서 기억해야 될 게 사이토카인이라고 하는 겁니다. 이 사이토카인이 너무 활성화되거나 아니면 너무 활성화가 안 되는 것도 문제가 됩니다. 사이토카인은 조절이 제일 중요합니다. 그래서 일정한 사이토카인의 능력이 유지되도록 조절하는 능력이 면역 반응에서는 제일 중요한 이런 부분 중에 하나입니다. 그래서 혹시 코로나 때 코로나 앓고 난 뒤에 치료하다가 갑자기 사망한 분들 뉴스에서 보셨을 겁니다. 그때 의료진들이 뭐라고 얘기하냐면 사이토카인 폭풍이라고 얘기합니다. 사이토카인이 갑자기 확 활성화돼가지고 몸 안에 염증 반응이 너무 올라가가지고 다발성 장기 부전으로 사망하게 되는 겁니다. 그래서 우리는 평생에 만성염증을 관리해야 됩니다. 이 관리에 있어서 우리가 다 할 수는 없거든요. 근데 정말 우리가 연구를 해보면 신기하고 재밌는 거는 해모임이 이 만성염증을 떨어뜨립니다. 그래서 해모임을 드시면서 이런 여러 가지 우리 사업을 할 때 생기는 이런 염증들을 떨어뜨리시는 게 좋을 것 같습니다. 연구 논문에 보면 해모임이 TNF-알파라는 거, 사이토카인 1번, 사이토카인 6번, 사이토카인 10번 이게 염증에서 중요한 요소들인데 높아지는 거는 떨어뜨리고 낮은 것은 올려줍니다. 그래서 해모임은요 드시면 사이토카인 1번, 6번, 10번을 작용을 해서 이 사이토카인이 면역에만 집중할 수 있게 합니다. 아주 좋은 면역에만 집중할 수 있게 밴드를 쫙 유지하게 가져가는 게 이게 우리 해모임이 가진 가장 큰 그런 장점 중에 하나입니다. 우리 몸에서 가장 중요한 기능을 가지고 있는 부분이 혹시 어디일까요? 어떤 사람들은 뇌라고 하기도 하고 어떤 사람은 심장이라고 하기도 하고 어떤 사람은 간이라고 하기도 합니다. 하지만 사실은 생명에 있어서 제일 중요한 것은 혈액입니다. 혈액이 우리 몸에서 계속 돌아다니는 한 뇌조직도 살 수 있고 심장도 살 수 있고 간도 살 수 있습니다. 병원에서 우리가 환자를 볼 때 에크모라는 기계가 있습니다. 그거는 인공심장을 넣거나 아니면 심장을 이식을 하는 환자들한테 심장을 떼야 되니까 그 사람이 죽으면 안 되잖아요. 그래서 그동안에 살리기 위해서 밖에서 심장의 기능을 대신할 기계입니다. 근데 심장의 기능만 대신하는 거는 펌핑만 하는 거고요. 우리 혈액이 산소를 공급하고 영양분을 공급을 하고 우리 몸의 노폐물을 다 제거해야 되기 때문에 간과 콩팥의 기능까지 같이 하게 하는 게 에크모입니다. 그래서 에크모는 심장, 간, 콩팥 이 3개의 기능을 다 하게끔 하는 게 이 기계인데요. 수술하거나 아니면 응급환자한테 사망 직전 환자한테는 이 사람을 살려야겠다 이러면 에크모를 씁니다. 그래서 에크모는 이쪽에서 피를 빼서 에크모에서 혈액을 노폐물도 거르고 산소도 주고 영양분도 줘서 다시 넣어줍니다. 그러면 에크모가 동작을 하는 동안은 그 사람은 계속 삽니다. 그 사실은 우리가 혈액의 기능이 얼마나 좋으냐가 얼마나 건강하냐가 우리 몸에서 건강의 기능을 유지할 수 있는데 아주 중요한 부분 중에 하나입니다. 근데 여러분들이 잘 아셨겠지만 해모 힘입니다. 해모란 뜻은 다시 말씀드리면 혈액과 관련되어 있는 동양의 조혈작용하고 관련이 되어 있습니다. 그래서 조혈작용에다가 면역에다가 만성염증을 조절하는 데다가 피로마저 개선해주는 이 정말 훌륭한 인류 역사상 어떻게 보면 이런 제품이 있나 싶습니다. 이런 제품이 우리 해모임입니다. 혈관을 잘 보시면요. 가장 좋은 혈관이 맨 위에 있습니다. 이거는 혈액이 막힘없이 쭉쭉쭉 지나갑니다. 두 번째 그림은 잠깐 한 군데만 막혀서 거기만 통과하면 됩니다. 세 번째는 여기저기 막혀 있기 때문에 충분히 혈액을 통과하지 못합니다. 이렇게 혈관을 막고 있는 부분들이 가끔 떨어집니다. 떨어지면 이게 혈전으로 바뀌어서 뇌에 가면 뇌경색, 뇌 혈관을 막는 겁니다. 심장으로 가면 심장마비, 심장의 혈관을 막는 겁니다. 그래서 사람들이 장애가 생기게 하고 죽게 하기도 합니다. 여기에 사실은 우리가 염증이라는 것이 작용을 합니다. 만성염증이 생기면 혈관이 막히기 시작합니다. 아까 가장 제가 대표적인 질병이 당뇨라고 말씀드렸었죠. 당뇨가 생기면 혈관이 막힙니다. 그리고 혈관에 염증이 생깁니다. 그래서 혈관염이라는 게 생기고 당뇨가 생기면 혈관이 막히기 시작하기 때문에 뇌경색이 잘 생기고 당뇨가 생기면 심장마비가 잘 오기도 합니다. 그래서 우리가 만성염증을 떨어뜨리는 것이 우리 인생에 있어서 아주 중요한 그런 부분 중에 하나입니다. 마지막으로 면역에 대해서 한번 간단하게 말씀을 드리려고 합니다. 바이러스가 들어오면 바이러스는 내 것이 아닙니다. 그래서 바이러스를 없앱니다. 박테리아가 들어오면 내 것이 아니기 때문에 이것을 없앱니다. 그래서 가끔은 우리가
So after kidney or liver transplants, because they were once organs in someone else's bodies, we sometimes use immunosuppression.
쓰기도 합니다. 그래서 면역은 우리가
Our immune
살기
system is
위해서
where the
내
most
것이 아닌
basic
것을 들어오는
physiological
뿐이라서
activity to protect our body. As I mentioned earlier, immunity controls. So our bodies don't have too much waste matter or inflammatory materials. It also cleans. Blocking the enemy is the essence of humanity. If I were to compare this to the Korean War, North Korea invaded in South Korea in 1950. To protect our country, we had those who were fighting in the front line. As the soldiers in the front line try their best to hold up, they contact soldiers in the rear to tell them about the enemy, the number of enemy troops, the condition of the transportation troop, and so on. So with this information, the troops in the rear come forward to fight and continue a steady supply of soldiers. If we were to consider this the immune system, Hemohim could cover all three functions. First, when virus or bacteria enters the body, Hemohim activates the NK cells to fight against them. While they fight, cytokine goes to the rear troops and gives them the information on the enemy, then brings support troops. Afterwards, it informs a training center for new recruit and continues a stable supply. So Hemohim does not play one single role, but it's a total response package for immune system. Back in the day, there was something called total soccer. Every player attacked and every player defends together. Hemohim is just like that. It's a total immunity. Hemohim could both attack and defend. Think of immunity as an all-out war. If we think about it, after the 20th century, there has been infectious diseases worldwide or continent-wide at an average of 5 years. In 2020, there was COVID-19 and it was widespread for 3 years. So we must be in preparation for the next disease that will hit us after COVID-19. I'm greatly concerned for what kind of infectious disease will spread this year in 2025. This is probably the same for all physicians and health officials. When asked for a forecast for this year's most fatal infectious disease, many infectious disease researchers answered that it could be the bird influenza. Until now, we have thought that the bird influenza cannot be spread to humans, but there has been recent cases where it affected humans as well.
In other words, the bird influenza virus has genetically mutated and can enter the human body. The reason this is a serious matter is because there are so many birds worldwide, the spread will be much faster than before. There are also concerns of another pandemic situation. But can we stop it just by warning? Unfortunately, that's not the case. It's better to become healthier and stronger so we may overcome any kind of disease. So if we examine our immune system, tackle our stress, change our lifestyle habits, and come together as a community, no disease will knock down Atomy. I believe that as long as we manage our fatigue, inflammation, and immune systems with Hamohim, we will be able to lead the Atomy business in a healthy and active manner. We once surveyed over 3,000 people in Korea. A fascinating fact we discovered was those who took one pack a day, less than half the desired effect, but those who took 2 packets a day reached the desired effect. I myself take at least 2 packets of Hamohim every day. I consider Hamohim as rice, staple food. In terms of Western, it could be a bread. So I consider taking 2 packets of Hamohim every day as part of my daily routine. I believe that taking Hamohim regularly will not only allow us to control the level of fatigue, inflammation, and immunity, but also let us lead energetic, vigorous business lives. Everyone, let's all take more than 2 packets of Hamohim a day until the person on your right and the person on the left becomes Imperial Masters. And you yourself become a successful business person, living your life to the fullest. Thank you. Everyone, you are watching the Make Imperial Show. And on the screen on the right side, you will see a QR code. If you scan it, and you will see live AI translation in many languages. So to understand this meeting today, please use AI interpretation or persons or conventional interpretation. So as you know, our CEO and also a doctor, Richie, has explained the advantages of Hamohim in detail, so you can believe him because he's a doctor. And now, since we have watched Hamohim, we should take Hamohim, right? So now, it's quite early though. Let's have a Hamohim time. How about it? I will give you one. Then I will also take the Hamohim time. So please open it and let's take it. And I have a question actually. It's a simple question. When you take a Hamohim, do you have any funny experience with this good Hamohim? Because I had no experience at the time. I tried to push it, but it seems like I have a blood around my lips. And someone also, it's in, you should push it appropriately. If you put it opposite way, then the Hamohim that it poured on your shirt. And also in the beginning, because it's highly concentrated ingredients, nobody just take it and take away. So we use the scissors to cut it, and we pour some water and took it because we thought it's too wasteful to just push it and throw away. maybe I will have some in remain. So please don't throw away. I'm going to pour some water and we'll take it to the end. What about you? During my Atomy business, I travel a lot for a long time. Long flight also. And there's OPA. It could be political. So, there's a person named OPA under me, and it took about 3,000 kilometers if you drive in Russia. So when I feel sleepy, I used to take hemohim like this. If you push it, you can take it more. And if you just put it on your mouth, you can still take it. It's good because, if you travel for long distance, it's very tired. But if you take it, it's eye-opening. As a Atomy member, when I should go to a long-distance trip, I often take hemohim. When I go to UPA, which is an area, when I have to go to UPA for business, I have to take hemohim in every 100 kilometer. Then I don't feel fatigue, tired, and 3,000 kilometers, it seems like a short distance. Korea, actually, the whole country, it's like 400 kilometers. So you should 3,000 kilometers seems very long. And I have a interesting question since you took hemohim. If you have to choose between the two, pushing hemohim on your face and eat absolute, I will taste cosmetics. Okay, what about you? I will apply hemohim on my face. The funny thing is, I asked this question because, chairman, when he went to Europe and visited cosmetic store, and, we often test cosmetics on our face or hands, but chairman tasted it to see if this cosmetics products contains artificial ingredients or not. And after he tasted it, he said, this is bad. And also, it's not an official one, but one of my acquaintances, the person applied it on their foot because it's personal. It's not official because my acquaintance believe that they can treat athlete's foot. And also in my case, when I go to Minsk, a hot water poured on my feet. It was boiling water poured on my feet and it got heated. So I got burned. And there's nothing I can treat with it, right? So on that night, I took hemohim and applied on my feet and got better. Actually, this happened a lot. Those who got burned, many people said that it's very effective in treating burn. Actually, this kind of interesting stories are prepared, and we're going to move our seat. And before that, we're going to hear a Mongsang chairman's talk. Don't go around asking people to buy a product when you meet them. Atomy may appear to sell products, but in reality, it's a business that offers something. What is the proper role of an auto sales master? An auto sales master is the first step to becoming a leader. And a leader must do two things. The first thing a leader must do is to present a vision. A leader who cannot present a vision cannot be called a leader. It's like a commander in the military. not being able to tell subordinates the attack point. If a commander cannot tell the attack target, victory is not possible. What is the goal at Atomy? There's only one goal, becoming an Imperial Master. What should you tell your partners then? To become a leader, you must be able to tell your partners, I will make you an Imperial leader, Master. Another essential trait of a leader is servant leadership. We call it servant leadership. You must serve diligently for your partner to truly succeed. If you prioritize your partner's success, you must be willing to work tirelessly without sleeping. Everyone, leaders do not sleep. Don't sleep. For example, how do you think presidents, prime ministers, and other leaders of countries operate? Do you think they get enough sleep? I don't think so. They work extremely busy schedule, barely getting any sleep. So, since you have become a leader, prepare yourselves to work without sleeping. You may believe that after becoming an auto sales master and having two partners on each side, you will be propelled to success. While such thing can happen, a leader does not achieve success through others, but empowers them to succeed. You need to find 12 capable people, 6 on each side, and use your experience to help your partners also become auto sales masters. What are the principles of success in Atomy? In Japan, there's a mountain called Mount Fuji. Among the Japanese people, do you think there are more who have climbed Mount Fuji or more who have not? The majority have not climbed it. There are many people who live their entire lives at the foot of Mount Fuji without climbing it. Why haven't they climbed Mount Fuji? I think most of them haven't thought because they never thought of climbing. The principles of success are very simple. Experts from around the world all share the same message. If you want to succeed, the first step is to believe that you will succeed. Some of you hearing this will say that you believe you will succeed. However, when asked more specifically, what does success mean to you? Then many struggle to answer. To achieve success, you must think that you will succeed. And this thought needs to be specific. Write your goal of success into your life scenario. In Atomy business, it's not just something you keep to yourself, but something you talk about with everyone. Atomy appears to be a product selling business, but in reality, it's a dream selling business. Don't go around asking people to buy products. When you meet people, tell those you meet you started a business that I can earn 100,000. And as your consultant and guide, I will help them reach 100,000. You should declare that this is how Atomy's business operates. As people's words come from spirit, it is spirit. How is the spiritual power expressed? It's expressed through words. Spirit has nothing to do with logic. You simply say it and it happens as it is. I'm present in the scene where things are not achieved logically, but are a miraculous thing happen. I'm a witness to that miracle. As I drove around in a used Carnival SUV worth $2,500, what did I say? You will become a successful person earning 100,000 a month. You will be the owner of the most expensive house in the city. You will become the person who pays the most taxes in the city. I declare these things and they all came true. You all have the ability to do that. Write it in your life scenario and talk about it to 100 people a day. Then you will meet people who say they were looking for those who they can earn 100,000 a day. Then all of you can become a crazy, successful person. So it was very good to hear Mongsang's miraculous story. And you're watching Make Imperial Show. And now we're going to hear successful know-how from leaders. And before that, as I see the screen, I can see Mr. Yoon is here. And please wave your hand to our global members. So like him, as you can see, about 2,000 people are attending this show. Not many people is on the screen. And if you press yes on panelist mode, you can also turn on your camera. So as you know, last month, Yeon-soo Kim talked about 1 month plan. Do you remember? I shouldn't ask this, actually. You must remember. You know, I was wondering whether you have carried out the 1 month plan. You know, maybe some of them have completed it, right? If anyone succeeded at the 1 month plan, please let us know through chat room. And like we did last month, we're going to hear very constructive and helpful know-hows and how to be a leader who help partners successful, which I'm going to talk about self-leader, how to become a self-leader. That will be the topic of our today's talk. And actually, many people were very excited to hear from you. And some would be worried. Some would be wondering why we have invited you and how did you two meet? Maybe 2018, December. You know, in Europe, they were very busy with preparing parties. And I got introduced from someone to Choi Hyo-yul, and I thought this person will be a leader. So I tried to visit Europe around December, but I heard because we're so busy, you don't need to come. However, I thought I should visit. So I bought a ticket and visited Europe. And maybe about this, you should talk. As you know, Mr. M is, well, personally, we served in Navy, in the same Navy. And also sponsored in Malaysia. He's also from Navy. I'm sorry, Marine. We're all served in Marine Corps. But even before that, the person in Malaysia, he said, you should do Atomy, like 2015 or 16. And I thought, what is this Atomy thing? And he said, Atomy is multi-level business. So, which was the wrong answer. So I said, I wouldn't do this if it's multi-level business. But anyway, and Mr. Im, around the December, he said, come. Then I said, no, because we're so busy. And also next year in January, I said, I will be visiting Korea. I will be okay in January next year, like 2019. It will be okay. You don't have to come. Don't bother to come. But Mr. Im insisted I will go there and said, I bought a ticket. But, you know, because he was like a boss to me in military, Well, I had to welcome him. But I think that was a good timing. If I met him in January, as I said, I wouldn't be here. Although it's just 1 month difference, but I could feel how important the timing is. But I could visit in January, but I thought I should visit December. But of course, he visited me in January, but January is usually busy. So he came, but we met like 2 hours. If I didn't visit him December, but instead I went to January, I cannot introduce Atomy properly to him.
So I went there in December and we spent the week together. And after lots of discussions and conversation, I believe he decided to do this Atomy. So on the first day, we just met. And on the second day, he started to talk about Atomy. Back then, I didn't know about Atomy at all. So I pretended not to have interest in Atomy. Because if I show my interest, I thought that he will never leave. So I pretended not to have any interest in Atomy. So I found that Atomy is all about making system incomes. Because even before I met Atomy, I always looked for something that could create system income. All businesses have ups and downs, but in system, there's no ups and downs. He also said that making more money, that making money as long as possible is much more important than making much more money. So I found that the Atomy is all about making system income. So I started to have interest in Atomy, but I pretended not to have any interest in Atomy. So at night, I thought that, oh, he is the one that will save my life. So the next day, I called him and I asked him to give me more information on Atomy. So that's how I get information about Atomy from him. Yes. At first, that he said, oh, don't come to Russia, don't come to Russia. But after that, I went there and he said that, oh, I needed to go to business travel to the Far East area. So I don't have much time because I needed to stay in Russia for a week. But at that night, he just called me saying, could you please tell me more about the marketing plan? I would like to send you a car. So please come to my office and tell me more about Atomy business. So, oh, that was a lucky moment for me. So I met him and we started to make a lot of progresses because he's really understanding well. Yes, system incomes and the know-hows of the business success are really important. But I believe that you might have your own standard about doing the standard. But before I think that, is there any moments that break all of the prejudice and bias on the network marketing? Yes. I've been living in Russia for 33 years and I've been doing business in Russia for 33 years. I've never been a salary worker because I've always having my business in Russia. I've never worked for someone. I always run my business. So I have kind of like that instinct. For example, oh, this is the product that I could sell, or this is the product that I can't sell, and this is the business that will work. So I have that kind of business instinct. And on the very first day, I realized that, oh, this might work. And when I first met him, I felt he's so generous. And then I also think that, oh, he is a wise man. And I felt so close to him. Although I didn't know much about him, but I felt that this is the first time I met him, but I feel like I'm so close to him. Like we have a long connection between. And on that day, it's 4 or 5 in the morning, but he was so passionate. And I thought that even it's 4 and 5 a.m. in the morning, but he's not tired at all. And this is all because of the Atomy. So I felt so touched, and that's why I started to follow him starting from the next day. So when was the moment that you really make up your mind to start Atomy? Yes, on the second day. I canceled my business trip and I invited him. Yes, I canceled my trip because I was really confident. And I believe this is all about timing. I met this wise man, and if I leave this town for a business trip, it's all end. So I just canceled my trip and I asked them to come to my office and like I asked, could you please tell me more about the marketing so that I could start the business? And he said that you could be a global leader. This is the best timing to become a global leader. Atomy has global one code system. It's the best timing to start your own business. Like it's kind of like a trade. So I found that's the perfect business that I could do in Russia. Yes, you said that at that night Imsing Imperial Master show you everything. Yes, actually, must money matter always. As a businessman, money matters. So I asked him, I know that it could be uncomfortable for you, but could you please show me your business account, like the bank account? So yeah, he asked me to open my bank account, but in a gentle words, because I thought that he don't believe me. He doesn't believe me. So I said, okay, I will show you my bank account. So, and then he felt pretty satisfied. He saw my bank account and he said, can I take a picture of this? So, okay, of course. So he took a picture of my bank account, like on my smartphone. I found that he made 870 million Korean won as a commission in 2011. I was shocked. I thought, Atomy is a truly big business, and I'm impressed. So I thought that it's an idiot not to do this business. And Imperial Master, did you also bring any product with you? Of course, of course. Products are necessary. And I believe that showing my bank account is the best way to talk about the business. But anyways, like showing my bank account worked well with him. I didn't ask him about it, but anyways, my bank account was really appealing to him. So I believe that that was the best and the moment that he made up his mind. Yes, bank account. It worked really well. I saw his bank accounts, and if it was only like 200 million, but it was 870 million Korean won in a year. So I thought, wow, doing network marketing could make this much money. And I also think that, oh, this is thanks to the unlimited levels. And this is thanks to the system income. So that back then, I started to nag him. Please tell me, please teach me. What can I do? Well, back then, he didn't like that. He didn't do like this. And as I mentioned on the first and the second day, I pretended not to have interest in anime business. But after the 2 days, I started to nag him. I canceled all my plans, and I just asked him, please teach me and please let me know more about anime business. And you also ask him, what can I do to make this money in the fastest time? Yes, so I gave him some answers, and I think that in the global market, we can see that some countries have already opened the branch and some countries have not opened the branch yet. So we need to see the global market first. Back then, that was the time when the Russian branch was about to open. Was it 2 to 3 months earlier than the opening? Yes. As far as I remember, it was the time that we were about to open the Russian branch. So I asked him, when we really open the branch, please, if you can, please, become a Sharon Master. So that was my request, because I thought that he has the capability to become Sharon Master in time of opening the branch. So I thought that he has the capability and ability to become the Sharon Master. You mean? And I have one more question. Like, he's kind of like hidden pearl. So what was your know-how to find this kind of hidden pearl? Yeah, you know that this by his appearance, he looks so strong and he looks so like competitive. I know that it could be a little bit difficult to be interpreted, but I thought that he is the self-leader that I've been looking for. And I also thought that this is the talents that I've been looking for the entire life. You said that he's a self-leader. I believe that the self-leader is the topic of today's meeting as well. And I believe so many of you here and so many of the participants here want to be the self-leader. So how can we become the self-leader? Yes. Self-leader means that you need to develop yourself by yourself. You need to do your job by yourself, and rather than depending on your sponsor, you need to do this by yourself, because sponsor show you the direction, and you're the one, you need to follow the direction. I also brought the note that I wrote down before. So I would like to share this note. So I asked him, how can I become the self-global leader? I asked, and he answered. I believe that this information might be really helpful for all of the participants here. So yeah, this is the original paper. This is the original paper that I wrote down when I met him at first in Russia. So this is the secret note, I mean. So could you please show the paper to the camera? Wow, you hand wrote. Yes, yes. After I had meeting with Imperial Master M, I wrote down everything in this paper, and I always carry this paper. You know, Russia and Korea are far from each other. So he said that first, a self-leader should learn. And second, self-leader should open a center. You need to create your own team. So you need to form a team, and then you need to do it yourself. Everyone, you need to also copy this. You need to write down this information. And thirdly, he said that you need to do the regular education or a regular meeting. And then the regular meeting should be on time. It could be on Tuesdays, on Thursdays. So you need to do the regular seminar. And the seminars need include the basic information, marketing plan, product experiences, and weekly and the monthly planning. So a self-leader self-leaders need to make a goal of becoming or achieving the next title monthly and weekly. Yes, I think although I share all of this information, most of the leaders don't follow this because it takes too much time to persuade them to start the anime business. When I evaluate a leader, I see the questions that they give me. And when he asked me the questions, I found him having most of the capacity to become a self-leader. So I asked him, yes, Korea and Russia are far, so I cannot come to Russia frequently. So I would like to give you all of the know-how today. And he wrote down everything. He wrote down everything, but I didn't know that he's even carrying this paper today. But anyways, I try to give all of the information and know-hows that I give. And he executed all of the secrets I shared. So I also asked him, "What's sharing your semester?" Because I was a newbie, and I was new to this business, so I even didn't know the titles. So this is the picture that Syntax Sharon Rush semester drew. There are 17 circles, and if you make 17 circles, you could become a Sharon Rush master. So I said, I don't have any circles below me. And he said, okay, of course, and keep drawing, keep drawing. At first, I didn't understand it, but I trusted him 100%. So I copied this paper and I made 100 paper of it. And I drew this and I like ripped the paper every day and I made up myself and I made my own determination called 2080 2030 plan. So that's my 2030 plan. So please tell me more about enemy 2030 plan. So I made my country determination becoming a global self-leader and I made my own 2030 plan, which means that I will invest 20 hours a day and I will make 30 people registered. Yes, that's my 2030 plan. If I don't achieve this goal in a day, I will never go to home. So that's 2030 plan. It means that you need to put 20 hours a day and make 30 people registered. So are there anyone who want to also do this 2030 plan? Please let me know if you also want to do 2030 plan. If you have the concrete goal, I believe that you will meet good people. As you could see, he also had a concrete plan back then, making 2030 plan. He never slept. He met so many people. I am a living proof because I saw him doing that. I create the plan. I watched Sherman Park's video and he said that I make I will make 10 people registered a day, but one day he made 9 people registered, but one was missing, so he never went to home and he just waited a friend on the in front of the friend's apartment in I was motivated from his lecture. So I just decided to do my own 2030 plan. So I would like to invest 20 hours a day and I would like to register 30 people a day. In order to expedite my success, I would like to double or triple the number of the people registering, and I would like to carry I would like to put that in action every day. US, Japan, Canada, Singapore branches were open before. I had experiences opening the branches, and I'll also saw a lot of leaders, and most of them are the leaders with good personality. So we need to get motivated from them. So we need to think that we need to find leaders with good personality, and we need to open the branch with that leader. We know that he was really good, but he just lacked the experiences and know-how. So all I had to do is to teach him the know-hows and experiences. So were there any difficulties?
As I mentioned, I only did business, but here was the thing. Good and affordable products with good quality and affordable prices. Always the product has its owner. But when there's inventory, products accumulated in inventory, but since I used the product and I felt this is so good, could you tell us the name of the product? Yes, toothbrush and toothpaste. They were so good. And watching these products, I thought since these products are so good, they're sellable. That's where I got inspiration and started the business. When you said global leader, to be a global leader, are there any traits or anything that you need to prepare? First, you need to find one, and the most important thing is language. If you cannot speak foreign languages, even if you know very well about the Atomy, you cannot speak anything. So if you cannot communicate, since you cannot do anything, so first, to be a global leader, you should be good at speaking foreign languages. And secondly, if possible, if you're experienced, that will be great. Well, firstly, we often recruit consumer as a leader, and that's kind of, if you keep doing that could create a vicious cycle. But if you recruit people who have experience of network marketing business, then because they have their own network, it gets much more easier because they have good network and good experience, though that will accelerate the business growth. But the important thing is, because culture is different, you first need to understand culture. Can I share one episode? Speaking of it, I'm so excited. Please, when I visited Indonesia, I explained of our business, and after the event, well, people ask me repeated question about business. So I said, I have explained everything, but I asked, do you have a bee fostering business? And they say they have it. So I talked about the queen bee story. When you secure honey, even if you have 100,000 working bee, if queen bee disappear, then all the 100,000 working bees also disappear. But the thing is, of course, working bee is important. However, that only make sense when there is queen bee. So I told this. I thought this could explain everything. However, they keep asking me after for 4 days, why working bee isn't important, asking this kind of question. So I thought my explanation worked well, but it wasn't. Maybe I think this comes from culture difference. And also in Thailand, the country is famous for the fighting sports. So they don't know about baseball. So they asked me, how do we do business? So I said, I wanted to say you need to be immersed. So I took an example of baseball. It's very hard to have one hit until the 9th round. So maybe third round or 9th round, you need to hit. You need to focus. You need to make hit in 3rd and the 9th round. After I explained this, the atmosphere was very weird. So I asked why this is happening, and they don't know about baseball that much. So that made me realize that's why their facial expressions were not making sense. And this kind of cultural difference can lead to misunderstanding even. So I thought understanding cultural difference would be very important. So, since you're in Russia, so he must be a queen bee who understands all about Russian culture and everything, right? But since he didn't have experience of this business, however, he was a queen bee. He was a self-leader, and also he's been doing the leaders training, and it's been about 69th leaders training. He's been continuously engaged in leaders training. So, Mr. Im said, we need to have regular training, and to provide regular training, I need to know, right? When I open it, there's no training translated in Russian language. So I went to the headquarters, Atomy, KR, and downloaded everything, downloaded all materials. And then when I go trip, I listen to all of those materials from the early stage chairman's lecture. And I listen to that, and also all other high rankers lecture and Royal Club, Crown Club, Imperial materials, which was like 400 or 500 files. And as I mentioned earlier, because I have to travel like 3,000 kilometers for a business trip. So while driving, I listened to all those lectures over and over again. So since I realized in the past we need to provide regular training, so I launched a training team, and from April 2019, we have started to provide training, which was all despite that was during the Corona pandemic. But we've been providing regular training with no rest. And now we're providing 69th training. And usually we talked about Success Academy in Korea. And since we have to raise sales, we also introduce products. And also we introduce life scenario for 3 days. Then so many people cry then. And when there's a New Year's holiday, then leaders wear hanbok with a Korean traditional clothes. And we throw a festival, and also during the Thanksgiving, we also throw a festival. And during December, we wear Santa Claus clothes. And we've been providing this regular training since 2019 consistently. So he said it's 69th, he's having 69th training. But if I visit Russia, the attendees of training, I was wondering, the Russia is has largest land territory. And if I asked one of the attendees, then the person said, I came from nearby. And he's actually the person traveled 2,000 kilometers. And he said, I came from Baikal Lake. And how far is it? And like 5,300 kilometers. And the person next to the person, he said, I'm from Far East, which is like 7,000 kilometers away. You know, one of the attendees, they kind of create a team, and 4 people, they drive in turn to attend the training. Maybe it's coming from cultural difference, but you know, in Russia, if you travel 500 kilometers, you don't say you're going somewhere. You know, and also I said I met someone in Russia, and there was a woman who felt I was very impressed. And after 2 years, I came back to Korea, and I said, how do you think about that woman? And then the person said, I cannot reach her. But I heard that the woman is taking train and she will be back in her home in next evening, 8 o'clock evening. So he was still on her way home. So, you know, like it's like that. It's so different. But still having this regular training consistently every month is very remarkable thing. Now we're going to create this show as a content, and you know, we will share photos that you will share. It's very touching and very inspiring. And also setting a goal. I heard you're very capable of, we're very good at setting a goal. And you are the first Star Master, right? I wonder what kind of goal you have set. Well, in the past, after Mr. Im left, because I was a businessman like Atomy, I thought if you follow, you will be left behind. So I thought I should take the initiative. So since Mr. Im said, if possible, you can be the first director. So I made up my mind. My daughter, I said, I don't know what the director is, but after 2 months, I will be a director. Then my daughter said, you will make it. Because of that words, you know, I made a promise with my daughter. So that's why I started 2030 project. I must make it happen. That's what I thought. So at that time, myself and wife work hard, so hard. But I didn't feel fatigue because as a father, because I made a promise, I had to honor the promise. That's how I became a director. And I like the term global leader. You know, during Atomy business, you meet so many people. And I think global, the term global is very cool. It's like making a global network. So I thought it's not multi-level, but endless level business. There's no limit. And you can also do business trading with over 100 countries globally. And that is why I thought this is something I've been looking for. And to be a leader, I should take initiative. So I came up with another plan. I said, I will make happen. I will do my best to become the general manager, director general. So I thought to present my vision, I should be a true leader. And at that time, I came up with a 6-month plan. 6 months is quite a long time. So I called it like 3 months and 3 months. Like 100 days, 1,000 hours. Like this. But when he said, I want to become a director general, I thought actually maybe that's too early. But when he set his goal, it's like there's no hesitation. But anyway, since he set a goal, I thought maybe he's okay. I met you for the first time and talking with you, I thought you're very respectable and I like to be like you. Gorbachev received and he invited to Korea with his own money. I went to Russia. I'm like a first exchange student between Korea and Russia after two countries established diplomatic tie. And I thought when I was a student, I thought I should invite Gorbachev someday for sure. But I was a student. But what was the reason that you want to invite him to Korea? Well, I thought because of him, the Germany was united and Korea is the only country that's separated. So I said, maybe you should help us unite. But now I'm very close to him. I call him anytime in the past. So you invited him when you were a student, right? Yes. Well, he's such a big figure, and it's not easy for you or other people to invite him to any country. So I set a goal. I will invite him to Korea within 10 years. It's also the case with Atomy. You need to set the timeline. Like when I want to become a director or director general, you have to set the timeline. For example, when you are to buy a house, I will buy a good house. But no one say I will buy a bad house or poor house. You should be very specific, like how many rooms you want to have. Like this, if you are to set a goal, you have to set the timeline. Then you will also set how you're going to do. When I was a student, I went to the Gorbachev office and I stranded around that. And also I got caught from the security a lot. But if you are across the street, then you were not caught. So then someday, at some point, after 5 years, if I don't go there, the security or people in the office would wonder why he's not here. So you're so amazing. So you actually invited Gorbachev to Korea. When I heard that, maybe you are different from the beginning. However, I thought you were just talented, but now hearing from you, you were very working hard and you had so many difficulties. Hearing his story, it's like a drama, like a roller coaster. His life is so dramatic. When I was 12 years old, my dad passed away. And before he passed away, 5 years, he passed away ago. He was very sick. And I know how poverty works in your life. If you're poor, when you're adult, that I think that's your fault. When I'm in Russia as a student, that's why I set a goal. That's not something I got motivated from someone else, but I motivate myself and I motivated myself to develop by myself. Voluntarily, you motivate yourself. When you face difficulties, you like watch a video to be motivated and you need to cheer you up by yourself. Since I also ran my business, it was very fluctuated. But in Russia running a business in Russia was quite a unique experience also. Like 4 times I experienced crisis while running my own business. In 2011, I had a issue in credit guarantee. I went almost bankrupt. I had no company to go to work because all of my assets were seized. But at home, I said I will go out to work. And I couldn't say anything to other people. And I guaranteed for 100 million, but got a debt. I was indebted like 1.5 billion. So I think money is just a number. That's what I thought at the time.
So, did you set any specific goal back then? Yes. I thought that it's my fault because I'm the one who stood surety for it. So I thought that I need to be responsible for the surety that I guaranteed. After I started Atomy, I found that Atomy is the most easy. It's the easiest business that I've ever done before. So that was the best decision that I made in my life. And I'm the one who helped that. Okay. Anyways, by taking this opportunity, I would like to say that I'm a Korean national. So I went to the Marine Corps and I volunteered to go to Russia. I've been living there for 33 years. So whenever I come to Korea, I feel like I'm a stranger. And when I come back to Russia, I feel like I'm a stranger. But in Atomy, I feel so welcomed. I think that I am the person. I am the born to be association called Word Okta. Most of them are making less than 1 million US dollar in a year, but he's now making over $100 million in a year. But he owns his own business. I'm very grateful for Chairman Park. Uh, Next year, Atomy will celebrate the 16th anniversary. I feel like Atomy is celebrating 17th anniversary. It's thanks to Chairman Park. Chairman Park lived for 70 years and he put his entire life in Atomy. So I believe that Atomy is a company that's been running for 70 years. He's really into Chairman Park's lecture and he even remember every single words of Chairman Park. Because one day I opened the door of his office and Chairman Park screamed. So I really, really like surprised and I just like slammed the door because he's always playing Chairman Park's lecture in his office and he's playing the videos for 24 hours. So whenever I come to his office, I could listen to Chairman Park's voice. I also met a lot of global leaders and there are a lot of Korean people living abroad and some of them are successful. And the first generation and the second generation, I really recommend them to do and to learn more about anime business because it's a big opportunity. I know that out there are many people who is also really hesitating to start anime business, but please share them a word. Yes, anime uh has 51 branch offices, and you could from 114 countries you could start your code. The number is more than that of the UN registration. But if you start, but the number, it's less than 1% of each country's population. So please start learning more about anime. If you say that, is it in network marketing? No, I would like to say it's a one-person global trade company with infinite level. I'm doing trade for the entire world. I believe that the most dangerous thing is not to do anime business. That's the most risk. That's the biggest risk. People are talking about timing and the opportunity, but in anime there's no certain timing because every time is the timing. What do you mean by? Yeah, that story was already told by Chairman Park, but I would like to share that. But first, I got the 50th ID code, very, very beginning. I got the 50th ID code. And when someone came to Chairman Park and he got about like 100th ID, and Chairman Park said, please do this business in earnest. And Chairman Park said, and he said that, but I've got 100th ID. I think that I'm to the end. But Chairman Park said, no, it's only the beginning. You've got 100th ID. It's not an end. It's the beginning. But he didn't believe it. And he didn't start the business right away. And after all, he came back to Chairman Park, said that, oh, what ID can I get? It's now 2,000. Like this. He repeated it. So he came to 100,000, but he's never registered. He's never registered. Whenever he came to Atomy, he always said that it's the end, it's the end. But looking back today, he was not the end. He was beginning. Think about it. If you think that if you got 50th code, is it the end? No, it's a beginning. It's a mere beginning. So this could also happen to you in 10 years or 20 years. So pick your star master. I believe that you got the mindset that I would like to start this business as soon as possible so that I could get the earliest possible ID code. So that's what you did. But there are a lot of people who didn't catch that. But Sharon or Star Master, to your Star Master, you've got that ability. But everyone here, you're not late. There's there are no such thing like being late. So this is the mere beginning. So Star Master, could you please give us some tips as a person who who does the business in the global arena? So could you please give any tips for those people? Yes, doing the global business could be a little bit tricky to do the business in a foreign country, but in Atomy, we also had a lot of negative connotation about the global business, but now we don't do that. Going global means we go global. It doesn't mean that we embrace something from the global arena, but going global means that you could also go to global countries so that when you approach some foreign people, if you go to the like Southeast Asian countries, if you might think that they're also like the people in Korea, but you need to change that mindset. Chairman Park also said that going global means people like 20, 30 to 50 people can make some amount of money. I didn't really listen to his voice back then, but now, as I go global, I truly recognize and realize what he meant for. We've also talked about the product. In Korean Atomy, we have over 600 products. But do you think that if we launch 600 product in your country, your business go well? No, I don't think so. In our early beginning, Chairman Park said when we enter a branch, we need to be like a needle so that in order to like drill a wood, we need to be a needle first. But so that in order to penetrate some certain market, we need to start with a small number of the product. Like I mean, these products are the flagship products. But if you want just launch the product, it will not work. So the first thing that you need to do is to make a customer groups first. So if you are intelligent enough, you need to let Chairman Park, please give me 6 months, and then I would like to create more customer groups, and then please launch more product. This is the right direction. But if you say that, Chairman Park, just launch the product in our country as soon as possible, it's not intelligent at all. So the first thing that you need to do is to form a customer groups first so that you could sell more product to your countries. When you do Atomy, you might be really happy to meet more new people because if you like launch a product, we will create more customer group. But before you do that, you need to make a concrete customer base first. When we launch 1 or 2 new products, your customer will use the product, and you need to do the master of using that product, and then you need to start the other product, and you need to start that product. So you need to go it step by step. But you need to say that, oh, when I go to Korea, there are a bunch of products. So in our country, I would like to sell all of the product first. Please launch all of the 600 product in our country first. Don't do that. Don't say that. I understand you, but that's not the good direction that you could do in your business. Yes, I also understand that. So we could take an example of Korea. In Korea, we have the large supermarkets such as like E-Mart and Home Plus. But if we think about that kind of like large supermarket, we don't know any of the flagship products. So we are different from that. We need to make our flagship product first so that we could penetrate the global market first, and then you need to launch the product. But there are a lot of people saying that please launch more product in our country because I don't have many product in our country. I cannot do the business. That's an excuse. And there is another excuse, and that's about the people blaming for the environment. It's people saying that like I have a bank issue. We have like bank settlement issue. Yes, I somewhat understand them because when we enter when we enter a new country, let me take an example of Cambodia. I've been to Cambodia after we launched the branch. I found that there are differences between Korean banking system and the Cambodian banking system. In Cambodia, we cannot use the credit card for the website. But when they started this business, they found that there is nothing they could utilize. They cannot use credit card in the Atomy website. So that's because they don't have the enough data, so they cannot do the online bank system. And in Cambodia, the bank system starts in the morning, and then we make some payments. The system function in 4 p.m. in the afternoon, so it takes a lot of time to actually make the payment. Let me take an example. If I'm an A card owner, I like to make a payment with the card A. But in the system, I cannot make a payment with card A. Only card B will work. And then the card will only stay for May. Yeah, doing business in Cambodia, it was so difficult like that. So ill-tempered people could not maintain the business. They will just quit the job, like this. In every single country, we all have these kind of issues. Here, Chehyo Sharon Master and I were the same. When we started this business at first, there were nothing, but we've been waiting for the development and we stick to the businesses and we overcame all of the difficulties and now we are here and they're now the leaders. Starting from the beginning, we didn't have anything. So you need to endure it. You need to stand for it and then it will be paid off. Yes, Cherkil, your Star Master, you said that there was nothing when the Russian office was first launched. Yes, now we have 207 products in Russian branch. And the newcomers said that there are nothing to buy. But when I first joined this company, there were only 40 products. And 7 of them are absolute. 5 of them are absolute skincare, evening care. And how about in Korea? There was only Hemohin and Absolute in Korea when they first launched the company. Now in Russia, there are 207 products. It's a lot. But if you say that you don't have enough, if they might say that even though they have 20,000 products, you might say, oh, we have so little. In Korea back then, we only had 2 products. And the product was a set product.
Recording in progress.
성공한 것처럼 확보했어요.
예.
모두가 성공한 것처럼. 선크림 하나 나올 때, 그러니까 화장품이 있으면 모두가 다 선크림 없어요? 선크림 있으면 좋은데. 선크림이 나올 때마다 정말 가슴 벅찼고. 그러다가 폼크렌징 나오면 가슴 벅찼고. 지금 200 몇 가지요?
예.
엄청나게 많은 거예요.
그렇죠.
예.
그 말씀하신
제품이 없어서 그런 게 아니라고.
제품에 대한 기대.
예.
이게
그렇죠.
이렇게 이야기를 하니까 근데 그 기대할 사람들을 만들어져 있어야 되잖아요. 그래서 우리 지금 보시는 우리 회원분들께서도 한번 잘 생각해 보셨으면 좋겠습니다. 그러니까 물론 저희 애터미 회사에서도 많이 이렇게 제품을 제공해 드리려고 노력을 하고 있으나 그 전에 우리가 제품이 나왔을 때 내가 팔 수 있는
Provide
소비자
more
분담이
product in your countries.
같이
But you need to
기대할 수 있는
think
소비자
about it
분담이
first.
있는지
Do you
한번
have
돌아보셨으면 좋겠어요. 그래서
already have the customer base?
오늘 이 총장님 말씀이 너무나도 재밌지만 그 안에 핵심들이 잘 묻어 있는 것 같아요. 그래서 저는
About it before you
이게 좀
request
맞춰야 될
the
시간이 있지만
product
좀
launch in your country. Although we have the time limit, but I like to go more. Yesterday, I had an interview with you, Imsintech Imperial Master. You said that I don't like to get the spotlight. I would like to make Chegyo Star Master get all of the spotlight. And I was so impressed by this because that's the core value of the show. So now today here, Imsintech Imperial Master try to give all of the spotlight to Chegyo Star Master. I believe that is the shining leadership. So do you feel any leadership of Imsintech Imperial Master? Yes, of course. When I met him first, we have some connection. That was like we served in the Marine Corps in the Republic of Korea together. So that we have the connection like this. And I also feel that he had a good virtue. He has a good virtue. And I also respect Gorby, but I didn't use the word respect much in my entire life. of course, like people said that they respect me, but I didn't think that I am respecting someone else. And I didn't think that he's my role model, he's my mentor. So in my life, I don't have such people. But after time, as time goes by, I want to have a person who I miss and who I want to respect. And he's the one I respect. I started to respect. And when he calls me and when he said, "Thank you very much," I felt so happy. And he always said that it is really important to meet a good person. And for me, it was a luck to meet this Imperial Master. I believe that Chairman Park, like this Imsyntic Imperial Master, is feeling like he win the Nobel Prize. Yes, I'm not really used to it, but thank you very much for giving me the good words. Yes, as such, like Imsyntic Imperial Master is really famous among our employees because, as you mentioned, he's so generous and he's so kind and he's also charismatic. He's really famous for these characters. Whenever we had a meeting and whenever I meet him in Atomy Park, he always said, "Do you have coffee? I'd like to buy you a coffee." So this is the first sentence that he gives me whenever I meet him. So I could feel that, oh, this is the true leadership. I feel like that. And I would like to share one.
You know, when you shake your hands, you don't know whether this person would be successful or not, right? He knows everything. He knows for sure. When I visited Russia, after starting the business, there is an instructor system, right? And not only myself, but I think all other imperial masters would have their own instinct, like whether this person has potential or not. And I think this person is not the right person. You tell me, you know, when we provide training for leaders, he came here sometimes and he sit on the back, and after watching other people's back, still he knows whether this person has potential or not. And that's very accurate. I was wondering, actually, there was one male leader, and he is from Russian Marine. So he worked for years and he was a manager of center. He has his own center has 7 centers under him. And I thought, do you think he has potential? So he was a typical leader figure. And I asked, do you think he's okay for my partner? And then Mr. Im said, maybe he will leave like 6 months. I thought, really? I was very surprised because there were 7 centers under him. He only said he will live in 6 months, and actually he left after 5 years. And I was wondering, how could he do this? So after the event, when I shake hands, you did a good job, and I got the instinct, like maybe I cannot see this person next month. Maybe I can see this person for 3 years, maybe 2 years, 3 years. Maybe this person could be a successful person. I don't say this, but I got the instinct. I got the feeling. When there's less than 1 people and when there's a leader, you got motivated. And when there is 100 attendees, but if I don't see any leader there, then I got disappointed a little bit. And if I see a person's attitude or gesture, I got the feeling. So you wouldn't know, you would explicitly behave some way, but still I can I know. I got the feeling. But maybe someone ask, how about me? Don't ask. But because I feel like I'm a very strange person. But while driving, I thought, how could he do that? I was very envious of you, yesterday. So I said after the rehearsal, I didn't shake my hands with him intentionally, thinking whether he would figure me out. But he's a talent. He's a talent of Atomy, So yesterday I thought maybe he knows because he has experience, because he have overcome difficulties and he been meeting so many people. Maybe because of that, he knows. So I felt respectable of him. Our company is based on Christian, and maybe in a special session, we would invite him to ask anything, any question, to any question, like a shaman regarding business questions. In seminar, in the beginning of our company, there were some people who wear monk clothes. Not now, though, in the past. But there were some monks in our event in the past. That reminds me of something. As a global leader, there were many difficulties in fostering global leaders, especially when I go for an overseas trip. Like, all leaders got COVID-19. And also, I want to say, if you call yourself a global leader, that means you should be responsible. You should do your job. You should do your job on your own. And if someone does one job, and you should do two jobs. If you're a global leader, and during Atomy, if I do 2 lines, the sponsor came to me. And if sponsor doesn't do their job well, then I should visit the sponsor. And as a treat to be a global leader, plugging in this successful system should be done. But there's a person who pretend to be plugged in this system, as chairman said. So he talked about the pretending theory, right? You can wake someone who sleep, but you cannot wake someone who pretend to be sleeping. You cannot, because the person is pretending to be sleeping intentionally. That's what I do with my wife. So like that, if you're doing the business, you should do it in earnest. The topic is global self-leader. Self-leader is something that you should do in 2 lines. But I'm not sure my experience would helpful or not, but I would say it's a mirror theory. You put a mirror. If you don't smile, then myself in the mirror doesn't smile. If I frown, then the mirror, myself in the mirror also frown. If my original isn't good, then the mirror in myself isn't good also. So that's why you should do 2 lines, both sides. So I talk about mirror theory a lot these days. So global self-leaders should set a principle of doing 2 lines. I think you should remember this mirror theory. If you don't smile, then yourself in the mirror doesn't smile. And also, since I'm in global division, it's also the case with you also. But when lines grow, so there's some people take care of just 1 line, right? But as you said, you should take care of both lines, two lines. I think that's a really good point. Yes, if you are to become a true self-global leader, you should take care of our two lines. I would say I have like 5-year experience of global leader. And like whiskey, I am mature. And I realized I should become a good example that makes people under me a good person. If you duplicate yourself, if you make you as a good example, and if you duplicate yourself in your organization will grow for sure. You know, taking care of two lines is right, of course. But there are members who don't have experience of business. And there's one person like have one line, have 1 million PV, and the other line have about 200,000 PV. And there's a leader who don't take care of the line with 200,000 PV. I don't think 1 million PV isn't a large group. Because over time, depending on the leader, this performance would change for sure. Even if one line have 5 million PV and the other line have 50 million, then you don't know which is large group or small group. Depending on the line, over time, this performance would flip. If it's just a few million, you shouldn't regard it as a large group, you know, because it's binary. You should take care of the two lines. You know, Korean people love pork belly. If one side is grilled well, then you should flip it, right? I think binary is wired in our DNA, I think. I think you took a good example. Actually, we got a lot of such questions and from the perspective of the headquarters. But please remember, I think mirror theory would be very helpful. And I think I'd like to talk with you 2 hours or 3 hours, but you know, we have a time constraint. Maybe we should have second session or third session to talk with you more. And we got some questions from the attendees and to read. When there's a leader in overseas, how we should manage them? Could we hear your opinions on this? Let me tell you first. If there's a leader in overseas, you would feel very excited. Why? Because everyone wants to go global. You will be very excited. But you know, if someone is good at missionary work, you will be also good at business. Just following isn't the answer. You know, when I was young, in Canada say you shouldn't come. But still, I visited Canada. But it's not successful case. For your information, but for 3 days there, so they just serve one person per protocol. So don't make an error like me. But if there's a leader overseas, you should invite the person. If one person comes, that means 5%, 50% successful. So you let the person see the success system, and the person will feel it's very good to be here. And if you visit instead of inviting it, that would be less helpful. So you invite the person first. Maybe you would think you can explain about marketing or something else. But if the overseas leader, after visiting Korea and got explanation, and when they go back to their country, they would invite the person they met in Korea later when they need help. However, if you insist of going there instead of inviting, that's less effective. So when there's a leader in overseas, you first should invite the leader. And I think that's the right order, and that will be the good timing. What do you think? You know, in Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkey, Spain, Poland, that's the country that I also visit usually. And before I visit, I communicate and I give tasks like company introduction, like for 3 minutes, because to do that, you have to study, right? So I give some tasks. So when they study, that means they are passionate and they're interested. Because if you go overseas business trip, that takes a lot of money and time. So you first give tasks. And if you see this person actually study Atomy, and if the person seems interested, then I go. And then I invite the person. Then I say, I will buy you a ticket. Then the person would love it, right? But there's a person who say, I will buy a ticket. You don't have to buy me a ticket. I think that's the person who will become a leader. If the person wants to do business with me, the person will say, you don't have to buy me a ticket. If someone love to get a ticket as a gift from myself, that means they're not a good candidate as a global leader. Or that person will take a lot of time. I think you two have in common the Mr. Im. So when you first meet a global leader or a candidate, first you have to wait for a while and you should train them and should invite them. I think that's a good point. I think all of you would have questions about this and hope answers from this too would be very helpful. If you meet a global leader or overseas leader, you don't have to do everything for him, for her, or her. So first you need to see if they're interested or not, and then you can start what you want to do, especially in East Southern countries. When you see there's a person who deliver products well, that's not a right candidate for a leader, because over time those persons could be disappointed. Like, it's very different from a leader and a person who deliver products well. So inviting a person is actually a first filter, because to visit Korea, they have to have no problem in visa or have financially not that hard. So that they can, they have to have a financial capability to build the center and manage the center, right? To be a self-leader, so you should have a person who has capable of managing, operating, or launching a center. So because Well, sometimes one person say, I like to build like 40 centers, but you don't need 40 centers. It's very important. And I think you should remember this. It's been a very short time.
It was an informative show with two of you, so I would like to give you one quick question. So it's a personal question I'd like to give you. So my question is that, so what made you to overcome all of the difficulties? I had kind of like different motivation from the other leaders. I met Chairman Park, and I could come to this point. I met Chairman Park in my golden age. If I didn't meet him, and if I missed that opportunity, I wouldn't have lived this kind of life. So meeting Chairman Park was my serendipity. After I became an Imperial Master, people ask me, please describe Atomy in one word. And they asked me to describe Atomy in one word. So I said, good morning. If I describe Atomy in one word, I would like to say it's good morning, because I cannot imagine a single morning without Atomy. So please think about a morning without Atomy, because Atomy gives me a new morning, a new morning, a new morning. So I cannot imagine a single day without Atomy. Now, the economic situation is not really good around the world, so it's an opportunity for all of you. So, like we did go hundreds, like restaurant owner, like business owner, I would like to say, please meet Atomy, because Atomy is looking for a new leader, and the leaders are waiting for Atomy, and they would like to waiting for this kind of contact. Although they are not expressing their needs, you need to approach them, and you need to give on information how they could guarantee their future. So I believe that this is a good timing and opportunity. I hope all of you could meet Atomy and share your success with others, because our success could be a hope and dream for the other people. So I would like to say that this is the best timing to do Atomy. And Star Master, Che, looking back at my last life, all of the businesses were difficult, and Atomy is the easiest one. When you do your own business, you will see a lot of good and bad things. And when I started Atomy, I found that Atomy is the easiest business that I've done so far. Although there have been a lot of challenges and difficulties, you could overcome all of that. Because I think that global Atomy has global one code, and we could also succeed our wealth to our children, to our kids. It's a global well that never dried up. And this well, never drying well, could go down to the third generation from you. So please learn more about Atomy. When someone said bad things about Atomy, I feel so suffocating. I would like to put a chip into their brain. I would like to let them know what Atomy is. There are three types of people in the world. One is who really want to see that. Second one is who don't not willing to see it, and third one is who really see it. So for those of you who don't really see the future, I'd like to let you know, and I would like to plug a chip in your brain to show you the world and show you the future. Yes, you're talking about the inheritance. You can say that your children could inherit your code, and I believe that that is one of the important things that could like guarantee your future. Yes, thank you very much for sharing the good words. And last but not least, there is Yun Young Son, with us. Could you please unmute yourself and please share one word? Thank you very much for the informative session. Do you hear me well? Yes, we could hear you very well. All of the Atomians being with us today, I sincerely welcome you all. All of the know-hows could empower you. Whenever I meet Tech Imperial Master, I feel so impressed because he has been really good at moderating the sessions and the seminars. So he's really witty and he gives a lot of jokes and humors to all of the Tomians. So I feel so happy for him. And each and every life is so valuable. So you need to take care of your life and you need to think that your life is so valuable. You need to focus on your life, and that is one and only opportunity uh given to you. And then you will think that your life is so valuable and priceless. And then you need to also focus on the management philosophy. Our number one philosophy is the success of our customers. If you don't make your partners successful, it means that you violate the number one management philosophy of the company. Most of the people misunderstood that. They don't enlarge their group and they do the betting. It's a violation, but it's not. The biggest violation of the company rule is that if you don't make your partners successful, it's violating the number one law of the company. I believe that it is all given by Chairman Park. Chairman Park saying that this company is so safe. And he's always screaming for it. And he's sharing his like said. He said when we were at the Songli Mountain Forest, he said that it's really important to like make your partner successful. And he's really screamed and he shouted out all whole time from the early stage. So once again, I would like to say that it's a failure that you don't make your partners successful because they approach you and they come to you to be successful. But if you fail to make them successful, it's a huge mistake and it's a huge violation. So everyone, we have the responsibility to make your partners a self-leader and a successful leader. In order to duplicate a good one, you need to be a good original one. If a bad product is copied, all of the organizations and the group will go wrong. In order to duplicate a good one, you need to be a good original one. And our original one is Chairman Park, so we need to duplicate Chairman Park. All of the people being with us together, thank you very much, and I bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Yoon Young-song, Imperial Master, I would like to invite you to the stage. Yes, of course. Could you come to us and could you join this Make Imperial show? Yes, of course. Whenever I called and whenever I invited, I would like to go there to make all of the participants here successful. Yes, we've been running this show for 2.5 hours and we've sharing a lot of good stories. And now it's time to conclude. We look forward to seeing all of you, a global Atomy leader and member. And don't forget this one. We will draw a winner of the show. So please fill out the survey after this live. So we're going to draw a winner and then we're going to give a box of him. So last but not least, let's stand up together and let's say make Imperial all together. So and everyone, you could sit down at your home, but please say it aloud. Make Imperial, make Imperial, make Imperial. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you next time. I'm afraid to shake hands with you.
Recording stopped.